obviously great, just great performance by the boys tonight. First off, I think just when you get into the building and just that atmosphere today from the anthem, just did so much to energize the group, and it was just such an incredible advantage to play in here, especially against a team of Providence's quality. That they're one of the best teams in the league. And a team that could do some serious damage in March, both the Big East tournament and the NCAA tournament. So to win so convincingly against a team of their quality, it's just a great send-off here for Gamble. Our crowds have been incredible this year. It's been years since we've had crowds like this in both venues, and just a great way to send the boys to close down the building for the year for everybody.
And a 40-20 on the boards, how important was that, and what would you attribute that to?
I mean, I was hoping for +5 versus those guys on the glass. I mean, they're men, and Ed's teams in terms of identity. They're hard to be plus on the backboard. But if statistically, I think offensive rebounding wise, I think we may be number 1 in the country. But I was just really impressed with what we did on the offensive glass. Being able to keep Hopkins off the offensive glass, to be able to keep Carter. Carter's one of the best offensive rebounding guards in the country. So we were just back to looking like, I guess, the team that in the non-conference, and then the Marquette game, the Creighton game, at home, we looked pretty formidable.
Yeah. I was going to say, Alex with 16 and 8, but also the defense, better job on Hopkins, obviously holding it to fairly, harmless 16 and no rebounds. What can you say about what Alex did today?
If you were to play him, to kind of play him even in the game is, a huge plus. Alex, took personal, I think, some things that were after the first game that were commented on in terms of that matchup, and how much of a disadvantage it was for us in this game, even today. And I thought he showed, for playing against an NBA player, but Alex also too is an NBA player. So I think it was, Alex the second time versus a lot of these 4-man matchups has been much better.
What has Jordan done to become an elite Big East scorer, in addition to just his physical gifts? He carries himself like someone who knows he's the best scorer on the court sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, just he's grown up during the course of the year, just through some great successes and some not so good games, particularly on the road. I think it just toughens a man up, and you just gain that invaluable experience. I think the team has done a better job of screening for him and kind of locating him in transition. I think he knows how to, he's got better at using screens. And the kid is mentally tough. I mean, he's not scared, and he believes in himself.
And you and Ed, how you doing? You and Ed have had battles over the years. I know you had a conversation pre-game and then post-game, and then just going back and forth. What was it like to have that old school battle with Ed?
Yeah, it's. I think it's always a great challenge when you coach against. Number one, when we coach this league. I mean, this league is just, number one, it's underrated. I mean, the top 5 in this league is as good as any top 5 in the country. And a big part of that, I mean, you got some tremendous players, but you got some of the best coaches in the country in this league, and Ed's one of them. So you know that you've got to have your team well prepared, and you've got to have a really good team if you're going to beat Ed, and if you're going to beat Providence. I mean, Ed's got this program going, and it's always a fun challenge. I got a lot of respect for Ed. And this was it's a fun rivalry game. I find myself back in these games with Providence again. So.
He said the $2 beer helps. Do you think the $2 beer is the way out?
Did Ed say that?
Yeah, he did.
I mean, a lot of people $2 beer us. I mean, they've been $2 beer and shit. So, dollar beer, right? Yeah, I think in Omaha it was like a quarter for a Schaefer.
Yeah, we got hit with a couple of them in Providence.
Yes, that's right. That's right.
Ed was talking about the venues on the road in the Big East, and can you just address how big a deal it is to hold serve tonight, and then just
Yeah, I
those
mean,
hemispheres?
you could get put in a blender in this league if you catch the wrong schedule, and I don't think that the league necessarily did us any favors. You get the home game versus Villanova post Christmas, which going in is going to be a tough game, and then you go at Xavier, at Providence, Creighton at home, and at Marquette. I mean, that put us in a little bit of a blender, and then you throw in the clunker versus St. John's. I obviously missed the Seton Hall game. I mean, things can start to unravel kind of quickly if you're going on into these top 5 teams on the road, man. It's hard to win a game, and would have been hard for anyone to come in with this type of crowd today and get a win. The crowd was incredible.
And your 5th season, some success early, some bumps in the middle, now maybe a surge at the end. Start to feel a little familiar.
It's obviously it's good seeing you, Bill. I just think that every team goes through it. We took a tough stretch during a tough stretch. I don't know how many teams could have handled that. Obviously the St. John's game at home is still one that you're still trying to figure out what happened that day, but that schedule I think caught us. It's hard to have the clean sheet in non-conference and then do the clean sheet in conference play. I do think that we've got a chance down the stretch here to create that momentum into March, into these tournaments, and be a tough out for anybody.
I asked because your 5th season never around, followed in very similar paths.
Yeah, it did, and man, that Oregon game, Bill, we had that one, and then they went to the Final Four. Shit.
Coach, how good was it to see Naheem play the way that he played today in the last few games? He's really been.
When we get the scoring punch off the bench, and I thought Hassan was disruptive. Donovan, we got that center. We got that great play from center again today. Donovan was impactful. Adama, 16 on 9 shots. But when Naheem gives a scoring punch off the bench, it's with what we get from Jordan, and when Tristan's doing a little bit of everything. Naheem making threes and giving us some 8 to 10 to 12 points off the bench. Just again, it makes us that formidable team.
Carter's a pretty tough defender, and Jordan's still able to get 20 points. What's that kind of say about his growth?
I mean, Carter's an NBA player, and he didn't play great offensively here, but he's a brutal guy to deal with. You're just told Jordan, in huddles, like eventually he's going to make some mistakes, or he's just going to wear down a little bit. He's not going to be able to chase you at this rate for the 34 court minutes, and then also like set some screens to get one of their lesser defenders on you where you can have some success. Try to get him off you by creating a switch, and he was able to take advantage and get some points off some other guys, but I mean, Carter's as good a perimeter defender as there is in the country.
And I know on Saturday you talked about the toughness, but it was only 1 game. Now it's 2 games. Do you feel like you guys are now up to the level of toughness that it takes in this league? You've adjusted to that, achieved that level?
Yeah, I mean, minus fouling a little. We've shown great discipline not fouling. I think recently we've been better that way. Second half, we fell back into some, but we were being aggressive, so I guess I could live with it. Our identity when we were at our best was elite defense, which within the last 2 weeks we've started to play it again. Dominant rebounding performances, and then high assist games. I mean, 20 assists, the 13 turnovers were disappointing. A number of them were just overly aggressive, maybe too amped up. But we do. It should have been like a 20 assist, 8 turnover type of game. 13 is too many.